Kiva Kutapa
Imana Dayala Prabhu Kiva Kutapa
Imuna Dayala Prabhu Kiva Kutapa
Imana Dayala Prabhu Kiva Kutapa
Gangara Parasa Hoili Prachati Pavan
Gangara Parasha Hoile Pashate Pavan
Gangara Parasa Hoile Prachati Pavan
Gangara Parasha Hoile Pashate Pavan
Imunadu Dasani Pavitra Kuro Itu Maragun
Darshane Pavitra Koro Eto Maragun
Dasani Pavitra Kuro Itu Maragun
Darshane Pavitra Koro Eto Maragun
Hari Sane Aparade Hare Hare Nam
Hari Sane Aparadhe Tare Hare Nam
Hari Sane Aparade Hare Hare Nam
Hari Sane Aparadhe Tare Hare Nam
Tumasane Aparade Nahi Pavitra
Tomastane Aparadhe Nahi Paricha
Tumasane Aparade Nahi Pavitra
Tomastane Aparadhe Nahi Paritra
Tumhara Hridoi Sada Govinda Vesha
Tomara Hridoi Sada Govinda Vesha
Tumhara Hridoi Sada Govinda Vesha
Tomara Hridoi Sada Govinda Vishra
Govinda Kuhina Mora Vaishnava Para
Govinda Koina Mora Vaishnava Para
Govinda Kuhina Mora Vaishnava Para
Govinda Koina Mora Vaishnava Para
pratijame kori asha charani radoli
Pratijanme kori asha charani radoli
pratijame kori asha charani radoli
Pratijanme kori asha charani radoli
Naratame kuru doya apanarabuli
Naratame koradaya apanaraboli
Vivara karuna koro Vaishnava gosa
Evaru karuna koro Vaishnava gosa
Vivara karuna koro Vaishnava gosa
Evaru karuna koro Vaishnava gosa
Jaya Vaishnav Thakur, Jaya Vaishnav Thakur, Vaishnav Thakur, Jaya Vaishnav Thakur,
Jaya Vaishnav Thakur, Jaya Vaishnav Thakur, Jaya Vaishnav Thakur, Jaya Vaishnav Thakur,
Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada,
Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada,
Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada,
Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada.
Srila Prabhupada ki, Srila Prabhupada Jagat Guru ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. So this bhajan is entitled Bhagavan Krishner Pada Padme Prarthana by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The translation for the refrain goes as follows. O brothers, O brother, the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna will bestow virtue upon you, but he will only do this when Srimati Radharani first becomes pleased with you. This I surely declare to you. So we'll read the rest of the translation after the bhajan. Everyone can please repeat the refrain. Krishna Tava Punya Habe Bhai. Krishna Tava
Krishna Tava
Punya Habe Bhai.
Aviva.
So whenever we're singing and this line comes, please chorus along. It will be up on the screen eventually. Krishna Tava Punya Have Bhai.
Krishna Tava Punya Haveva.
Krishna Tava Punya Have Bhai.
Krishna Tava Punya Haveva.
E punya koribe jabe radharani kushi habe ধ্রুবায়াতে বলে তো মাতা
এ পুণ্য করবে যাবে রাধা রানী খুশে হবে ধ্রুবায়াতি ভোলে তো মাতা
কৃষ্ণ তবা পুণ্যা হবে ভাই
কৃষ্ণ তব পুণ্য হবে
এ পুণ্য করিবে যাবে রাধা রানী খুশি হবে ধ্রুবায়াতে বলে তো মাতা
এ পুণ্য করিবে যাব রাধা রানী খুশি হবে ধ্রুবাতি বলে তো মাতা
Shri Siddhanta Saraswati Sachi Sutta Priyati Krishna Se Bhajara Tulana
Shri Siddhanta Saraswati Sachi Sutta Priyati Krishna Se Bhajara Tulana
Se Mohanta Guru জগতের মাঝে উরু কৃষ্ণ ভক্তি রে তাই
সে সে মহান্ত গুরু জগতে মাঝে উরু কৃষ্ণ ভক্তি ধে তাই
কৃষ্ণ তব পুণ্য হবে ভাই
কৃষ্ণ তব পুণ্য হবে
কৃষ্ণ তব পুণ্য হবে
কৃষ্ণ তব পুণ্য হবে
তাহলে আনন্দ হয় তবে হয় দিগ আনন্দ হয় তবে হয় দিগ্বিজয় চৈতন্যের কৃপাতে
তাহলে নন্দ হয় তবে হয় দিগ্বিজয় চৈতন্য কৃপাতে
তারা ইচ্ছা বলবান পশ্চাতে তান তান হয়ে যাতে গৌরাঙ্গের
তারা ইচ্ছা বলবান পশ্চাতে তান তান হয়ে যাতে গৌরাঙ্গের
পৃথিবীতে নাগরাদে সমুদ্র নদ নদী সকলে লয় কৃষ্ণ
পৃথিবীতে নগরাদে সমুদ্র নদ নদী সকলে লয় কৃষ্ণ
কৃষ্ণ তব পুণ্য হবে
কৃষ্ণ তব পুণ্য হবে
কৃষ্ণ তব পুণ্য হবে চৈতন্যের কৃপাতিশয়।
তাহলে আনন্দ হয়, তবে হয় দিগ্বিজয়, চৈতন্য কৃপাতিশয়।
মায়া দুষ্ট যত দুঃখী, জগতে সবাই সুখী, বৈষ্ণবের ইচ্ছা পূর্ণ হয়।
মায়া দুষ্ট যত দুঃখী, জগতে সে ভাই সুখী, বৈষ্ণবের ইচ্ছা পূর্ণ হয়।
কৃষ্ণ তব পুণ্য হবে ভাই,
কৃষ্ণ তব পুণ্য হবে ভাই,
কৃষ্ণ তব পুণ্য হবে ভাই,
কৃষ্ণ তব পুণ্য হবে ভাই।
সে কার্য যে করিবারে আজ্ঞা জারি দিল মোরে, যোগ্য নাহি আতে দিন হীনা।
সে কার্য যে করিবারে আজ্ঞা জারি দিল মোরে, যোগ্য নাহি আতে দিনহীনা।
তাই সে তোমার কৃপা মাগিতেছি অনুরূপা, আজি তুমি সবার প্রবীণা।
তাই সে তোমার কৃপা মাগিতে কে অনুরূপা, আজ তুমি সবার প্রবীণা।
কৃষ্ণ তব পুণ্য হবে ভাই,
কৃষ্ণ তব পুণ্য হবে ভাই,
কৃষ্ণ তব পুণ্য হবে ভাই,
কৃষ্ণ তব পুণ্য হবে ভাই।
তোমার সে শক্তি পেলে, গুরু সেবায় বস্তু মিলে, জীবন সার্থক যদি হয়।
তোমার
শক্তি পেলে,
গুরু সেবায় বস্তু মিলে, জীবন সার্থক যদি হয়।
সে সেবা পাইলে, তাহলে সুখী হলে, তব সঙ্গ ভাগ্যতে মিল।
সে পালে, তাহলে সুখী হলে, তব সঙ্গ ভাগ্যতে মিল।
কৃষ্ণ তব পুণ্য হবে ভাই,
কৃষ্ণ তব পুণ্য হবে ভাই,
কৃষ্ণ তব পুণ্য হবে ভাই,
কৃষ্ণ তব পুণ্য হবে ভাই।
তুমি মোর চির সাথে, ভুলিয়া মায়া লাথে, কায়াছে জন্ম জন্মান্তরে।
তুমি মোর চিরা সাথী, বলিয়া মায়ার লাথি, কায়াছে জন্ম জন্মথান্তরে।
আজি পুনায় সুযোগা, যদি হয় যোগা যোগা, তবে পারি তুহে মিলিবারে।
আজ পুনায় সুযোগ, জারি হয় যোগা যোগা, তবে পারি তোহে মিলি ভারে।
কৃষ্ণ তব পুণ্য হবে ভাই,
কৃষ্ণ তব পুণ্য হবে ভাই,
কৃষ্ণ তব পুণ্য হবে ভাই,
কৃষ্ণ তব পুণ্য হবে ভাই।
তোমার মিলানে ভাই, আবার সে সুখ পায়, গোচারণে ঘুরে দিন ভর।
তোমারা মিলনে ভাই, আবার সে সুখ পায়, গোচরণে গোরি দিন ভোর।
খাতা বানে ছুতা ছুতে, বানে খায় লুতা পুতে, সেদিন কবে হবে মোর।
কাটাবানে চুটা ছুটে বানে খায় লোটা পুটি সেদিন কবে হবে মোর।
কৃষ্ণ তব পুণ্য হবে ভাই,
কৃষ্ণ তব পুণ্য হবে ভাই,
কৃষ্ণ তব পুণ্য হবে ভাই।
কৃষ্ণ তব পুণ্য হবে ভাই।
আজি সে সুবিধানে তোমারা স্মরণ বেলা 12 আশা ডাকিলাম তাই।
আজ সে সুবিধানে তোমারা স্মরণ বেলা 12 আশা ডাকিলাম তাই।
আমি তোমার নিত্য দাস তাই করে তাস, তুমি বিনা গতে না।
আমি তোমার নিত্য দাস তাই করে তাস, তুমি বিনা গতি না।
কৃষ্ণ তব পুণ্য হবে ভাই,
কৃষ্ণ তব পুণ্য হবে ভাই।
কৃষ্ণ তব পুণ্য হবে ভাই।
কৃষ্ণ তব পুণ্য হবে ভাই।
এ পুণ্য করিবে তবে রাধা রানী খুশি হবে, যুবতী বলি তোমার। এ পুণ্য করিবে তবে
রাধা রানী খুশি হবে, যুবতী বলে তো মাতা।
জয় প্রভুপাদা 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 শ্রীলা প্রভুপাদা।
জয় প্রভুপাদা জয় প্রভুপাদা জয় প্রভুপাদা শিলা
জয়
প্রভুপাদা।
জয় প্রভুপাদ 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 জয় প্রভুপাদ।
জয় জয় প্রভুপাদ 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 জয় প্রভুপাদ।
জয় জয় প্রভুপাদ 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 জয় প্রভুপাদ।
জয় প্রভুপাদ 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 জয় প্রভুপাদ।
জয় জয় প্রভুপাদ 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 জয় জয় প্রভুপাদ।
জয় জয় প্রভুপাদ 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 জয় প্রভুপাদ। To this bhajan. O brothers, the Supreme Lord Krishna will bestow virtue upon you, but he will do this only when Srimati Radharani first becomes pleased with you. And this I surely declare to you. Shri Srimad Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who is very dear to Lord Gauranga, the son of Mother Sachi, is unparalleled in his service to the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. He is that great saintly spiritual master, most magnanimous within this universe, who bestows devotion to Krishna in various places throughout the world. His desire is very powerful, and thus he is causing the holy name of Lord Gauranga to spread throughout all the countries of the Western world, in all the cities, towns, and villages on the earth, extending to all the oceans, rivers, and streams. Everyone may accept the holy name of Krishna. Thus all directions will be conquered by a flood of transcendental ecstasy, flowing with the excessive mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When all the miserable living entities that have been corrupted by Maya become happy, then the Vaishnava's desire is fulfilled. Although my Guru Maharaj ordered me to accomplish this mission, I am unworthy to do it. being very fallen and incompetent. That being the case, O Lord Krishna, your mercy is today arising in a befitting manner to make me become worthy, for you are the wisest of all. If you bestow your divine power, then one attains the factual substance, which is service to the spiritual master, and life becomes successful. If that service is obtained, then one becomes truly satisfied and ultimately receives your association due to good fortune. As stated by Prahlad Maharaj to Lord Nrsimhadev in the Srimad Bhagavatam 7.9.28, quote, thus, by associating with material desires, one after another, I was following the general populace by falling into a blind well full of snakes. My dear Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, then the great sage Narada Muni kindly accepted me as his disciple and instructed me how to achieve the transcendental position similar to his own. How could I ever leave the service of your servant? Unquote. O Lord Krishna, you are my eternal companion. Forgetting you, I have suffered the kicking of Maya, birth and death, birth after birth. If today the chance to meet you occurs again, then surely I will be able to rejoin you. O my dear brother, in your company I will experience great joy once again. Wandering about the pastures and fields, I will pass the entire day with you in tending the cows, joking with you and frolicking throughout so many forests of Braj. I'll roll upon the ground in spiritual ecstasy. When? Oh, when will that day be mine? Today that remembrance of being with you came to me in a very nice way. Feeling great longing, I called out for you. O Lord Krishna, only because I am your eternal servant do I desire your association so much. Except for you, I have no other refuge. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So Hare Krishna, we want to welcome all the devotees to this very auspicious program on the occasion of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Vyasa Puja, Sri Vyasa Puja, Srila Prabhupada Vyasa Puja celebration ki. So we'll be continuing, as you all know, every year there is a team of devotees who would compile homages and offerings by the leaders of our movement, the current leaders and seniors, also many disciples of Prabhupada, will compile a book of offerings called Sri Vyasa Puja, and that book is usually launched on this day or is used in the observance. It's a compilation of offerings to Srila Prabhupada on his Vyasa Puja. So from that book we will be reading the introduction and also later on maybe the meaning of Vyasa Puja, as well as a few offerings. And there was one poem that Srila Prabhupada wrote to his spiritual master on the occasion of his spiritual master Srila Bhaktisiddhanta's Saraswati Thakur's birthday. So that will be read as well. So for now I will begin by reading the introduction to this year's Vyasa Puja book. We don't have the hard copy here. So we'll be reading the meaning of Vyasa Puja from this year's Vyasa Puja book. So it's there on the screen, maybe you can follow along. So we'll begin. Vyasa Puja is a festival of gratitude. While the word gratitude feels insufficient when we talk about the level of in-depthness we feel toward Srila Prabhupada, it may be the best the English language has to offer. In common parlance, people say they are grateful for so many inconsequential acts of kindness. In comparison, the gift Srila Prabhupada has given us is unfathomable, and we strive to honor that gift with our deepest gratitude every day, but especially on the day of Vyasa Puja. In the world today, gratitude is understood to be a greatly desirable mindset. The Harvard Medical School writes, quote, "Gratitude helps people feel more positive emotions, relish good experiences, improve their health, deal with adversity, and build strong relationships," unquote. But the Harvard Medical School misses one key point when it comes to the gratitude we feel towards Srila Prabhupada. The pain in the heart we feel, especially on Vyasa Puja day, since we know that no amount of gratitude is adequate to reciprocate the absolute mercy he has shown us. An excerpt from a poem by Kalakanta Prabhu that appeared in the February 1996 issue of Back to Godhead magazine gives some glimpse into what Srila Prabhupada did for us. So the poem goes as follows. You could have stayed in Vrindavan, where chanting is most sweet, or moved to holy Navadvip in spiritual retreat. Your god brothers had temples there with room enough for you to sit and preach each Gaura Purnima to a guest or two. You could have said, quote, "It's Krishna's will. My visa was denied. I may have failed, but now I know, at least, that I have tried," unquote. Your patron said you would have died abroad. Your god brother just scoffed. You could have said, "Who will meet the boat and guide me safely off?" You could have had one look at us and said, "What have I done?" and caught the next boat heading home, unblamed by anyone. The Westerners, you could have said, can go to hell and stay. Who would have disagreed with you? We were well on our way. Instead, you laid your final years like flowers at Krishna's feet, your guru's smile, your hidden guide, the Thakur's vision in reach. How eternally grateful we are that Srila Prabhupada tolerated such unimaginable difficulties to give us the opportunity of devotional service. Another word that is frequently used on Vyasa Puja day is indebted or indebtedness. According to the Veda base, the word indebted or indebtedness is used 157 times by Srila Prabhupada in his writings and talks. This mood of indebtedness is in our Sampradaya's DNA, and it starts with Lord Krishna himself. Quote, "When I was away from Draupadi, she cried with the words, 'Hey Govinda, this call for me has put me in her debt, and that indebtedness is gradually increasing in my heart,'" unquote, taken from Nectar of Devotion, chapter 21, Qualities of Krishna. Often the word is used to express a devotee's indebtedness to Krishna. Uddhava says to him, quote, "O my Lord, transcendental poets and experts in spiritual science could not fully express their indebtedness to you, even if they were endowed with the prolonged lifetime of Brahma." Srimad Bhagavatam 11:29-6. And of course, the word is used to describe the disciples' relationship with their spiritual master. Srila Prabhupada wrote to Mantrini Devi Dasi in July of 1976, quote, "It is not possible for the disciple to repay the debt to the spiritual master. Therefore, the disciple remains eternally indebted to the spiritual master and continually works in such a way that the spiritual master may become pleased upon him for such sincere services rendered." Unquote. The offerings found in this book are an expression of the various writers' attempts to express this mood of gratitude and indebtedness. Writing a Vyasa Puja offering is not easy. We are forced to slow down and focus on the essential nature of who we are in relationship with our Guru and Krishna. It is a challenge. We likely come up with some initial thoughts of what to write and then decide we are not satisfied with them. Some of us we may discard them as superficial or cliché. We challenge ourselves to meditate more deeply. Some of us reflect on what our life would have been like had we not come in contact with Srila Prabhupada. A meditation he himself suggests in his purport to Srimad Bhagavatam 6.2.34, quote, "We should always consider that what our position was before we came and what it is now. We had fallen into abominable lives, but now we have been given the opportunity to chant the Hare Krishna mantra. Therefore, we should always appreciate this opportunity." Unquote. We are pushed toward feelings of gratitude and indebtedness. By Krishna's grace, we finally are able to express something, albeit falling short of what we wish we could more thoroughly express. While the offerings in this book are written months before Vyasa Puja, we again get the opportunity to focus on our gratitude and indebtedness today, the actual day of Vyasa Puja. We may be exhausted from the Janmashtami celebration the day and night before, but we push ourselves to attend and be fully present, as Srila Prabhupada's Vyasa Puja day is a must celebration for all his followers. Naturally, we will do our best to bring out the sincerest side of ourselves this day. Since Srila Prabhupada had to teach us everything from scratch, that naturally included how to properly honor him on this day. In Japan in 1970, Srila Prabhupada arrived at noon in the temple for his Vyasa Puja celebration, but the standard preparations had not been done. There were no flowers or offering of prasadam, and while there were several sannyasis present, a junior grihastha was offering arti. Srila Prabhupada reprimanded the devotees present and then instructed them on the proper way to observe Vyasa Puja, including offering flowers 3 times, a senior devotees offering arti, and a special feast. He allowed the devotees to rectify their mistake by redoing Vyasa Puja the next day. On another Vyasa Puja, Srila Prabhupada noticed 3 of his senior disciples leaving the room during the offering of the flowers, Pushpanjali. He was displeased and said so. In contrast, when Vyasa Puja was done nicely, Prabhupada expressed satisfaction. Quote, "I am so glad to hear how Janmashtami and Vyasa Puja were celebrated so successfully there in New Vrindavan." Unquote. Clearly, it is important to perform the Vyasa Puja ceremony properly, with full attention and devotion. Finally, and most importantly, we recall the famous line in Srila Prabhupada's 1961 offering at his Guru Maharaj's Vyasa Puja. Quote, "A festival of flowers and fruits is not the real worship. One who serves the Guru's message really worships him." Unquote. This, then, is the ultimate meaning of Vyasa Puja. To serve Srila Prabhupada's message on Vyasa Puja day, as well as every other day of the year, with sincere surrender and love. By Braj Bihari Prabhu, the co-director of ISKCON Resolve. Srila Prabhupada Vyasa Puja ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So we like to request His Grace Mayapur Prabhu to read for us the poem that Srila Prabhupada wrote to his spiritual master.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So the poem is entitled, Adore, Adore Ye All, the Happy Day. Adore, adore ye all, the happy day, blessed than heaven, sweeter than May, when He appeared at Puri, the holy place, my Lord and Master, His divine grace. O my Master, the evangelic angel, give us thy light, light up thy candle, struggle for existence, a human race, the only hope, your divine grace. Misled we are, all going astray, save us, Lord, our fervent pray. Wander thy ways to turn our face, adore thy feet, your divine grace. Forgotten Krishna, we fallen souls, paying most heavily the illusion stole. Darkness around, all distress, the only hope, your divine grace. Message of service thou hast brought, a meaningful life as Chaitanya wrought. Unknown to all, it's full of grace, that's your gift, your divine grace. Absolute and sentient, thou hast proved, impersonal calamity thou hast removed. This gives a life, anew and fresh, worship thy feet, your divine grace. Had you not come, who had told the message of Krishna, forceful and bold? That's your right, you have the mace. Save me, a fallen, your divine grace. The line of service, as drawn by you, is pleasing and healthily, like morning dew. The oldest of all, but in new dress, miracle done, your divine grace. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna. So at this time, we like to call on Hari Kirtan to please come forward to read the first offering from this year's Vyasa Puja book. So this is His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj's offering. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So we'll do one bhajan, Gurudev Kripa Bindu Diya, and then after that we'll read Maharaj's offering.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. गुरुदेव कृपा बिंदु दिया करो ए दास तृणापिकातिना
गुरुदेव कृपा बिंदु दिया करो ए दासी तृणापिकातिना
गुरुदेव कृपा बिंदु दिया करो ए दास तृणापिकातिना
गुरुदेव कृपा बिंदु दिया करो ए दासी तृणापिकातिना
सकल सान बाल दिया करो निज मन स्प्राहिना
सकल समानी बलारिया करो निज मनी स्पृहाइना
सकल समान बल दिया करो निज मन स्प्राहिना
सकल समान
बल दिया
करो निज मनी स्पृहाइना
सकल समान कोरिते शकति देहो नता जत जत
सकले समान कोरिते शकाति देहो नता जत जाता
तबे तो गाइब हरि नाम सुखे अपराध हबे हाता
तबे तो गाइबो हरि नाम सुखे अपराध हवे हाता
गुरुदेव कृपा बिंदु दिया करो ए दास तृणापिकातिना
गुरुदेव कृपा बिंदु दिया करो ए दासी तृणापिकातिना
गुरुदेव कृपा बिंदु दिया करो ए दास तृणापिकातिना
कृपा बिंदु दिया करो ए दासी तृणापिकातिना
कबेनु कृपा लवे आय जाना कृतज्ञता होय बिनाता
कबे नो कृपा लभियाए जाना कृतार्था होय बिनाता
शक्ति बुद्धि ना आमी अति दीना करो मोरे आत्मसाता
शक्ति बुद्धिना आमी अति दीना करो मोरे आत्मसाता
योग्यता विचारे किछु नहीं पाए तुम्हारा करुणा सारा
योग्यता विचारे किछु नहीं पाए तुम्हारा करुणा सारा
करुणा न होइले कांदिया कांदिया प्राण न राखी बोहारा
Kanya Kanya Pranana Rakivara
Karuna na hoile Kandiya Kandiya Pranana Rakibara
Karuna na hoile Kanya Kanya Pranana Rakivara
Gurudev Kripa Bindu Dhiya Koro Edhase Rina Pikatina
Gurudev Kripa Bindu Dhiya Koro Edhase Rina Pikatina
O Trina Pikatina
Rina Pekatina
Trina Pikatina
Rina Pekatina
Gurudev 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 Jaya Gurudev
Gurudev Gurudev Gurudev Jaya Gurudev
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada
Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
This is the offering to Srila Prabhupada by His Holiness Radhanath Swami. Dear Srila Prabhupada, please accept my sincerest obeisances. I pray to forever offer my body, mind, and soul in your service. As I reflect upon my life over the past 51 years since I first met you, my heart fills with gratitude and joy. Through both the pleasant and the stormy times, your teachings and example have remained a constant shelter. Bitter conflicts, heartbreaking disappointments, and ideological disputes are everywhere in the world. Dreadful diseases, mental anguish, and natural disasters are filling people's lives with uncertainty. The influence of Kali Yuga seems to leave no stone unturned, even within a society of devotees. In this turbulent sea of material perplexities, your words and example give us shelter and provide a perfect compass to lead us always towards Krishna, the absolute truth and the goal of life. As the years pass, the limitations of old age and the nearness of death are right before our eyes. The increasing occurrences of our most beloved Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis disappearing from the physical world are now inseparable from the experience of living. Yet, you have given us the gift of Krishna consciousness, wherein we can know that Krishna's loving hand is reaching out to us in all situations. We need only to recognize His mercy and surrender to receiving it. As we grow on the path of bhakti, we are gaining deeper realizations on the glorious place that you are taking us. You have entrusted to us the eternal message that the happiness of hearing and chanting Krishna's names and glories while engaging in devotional service with sincere devotees is the highest reality. The rules and regulations that you mercifully gave are to protect us from the implications and distractions that draw our minds away from the joys of devotional service. You have given us a day-to-day way of living wherein our immortal souls may pass through this material world on a journey to Krishna's pure loving service. I am forever grateful. This year, 2022, we celebrate the 100th anniversary of a historic moment that would forever change the world. In Kolkata, in 1922, in Kolkata, you first met His Divine Grace Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada at his residence on a rooftop in the Forest Gaudiya Math on Ultadanga Junction Road, 1 century ago. At this meeting, you were given the instruction to take the teachings of Lord Chaitanya to the whole world in English language. You accepted this order as your life and soul. Years later, while residing in Vrindavan in a small rented room, you prepared for your mission by beginning your English translations and purports to the Srimad Bhagavatam. This was a humble beginning for your legacy of circulating the most Vedic literatures in history. Here in Vrindavan, you daily prayed at the Samadhi of Srila Rupa Goswami for his blessings to fulfill the impossible order that you had been given. The miracle of your dedication, sacrifice, and compassion has fulfilled a prophecy that has been cultivated through the ages by the greatest of Vaishnava Acharyas. You have fulfilled the dream cherished by all of the Acharyas of our Parampara. This year, for your pleasure, Srila Prabhupada, this original temple at Ultadanga in Kolkata, where you first met your Guru Maharaj and received this order, has been procured and renovated. It was inaugurated on the Vyasa Puja day of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur by the devotees of ISKCON Kolkata. The building has been restored as far as possible to its original design, materials, and atmosphere. We are hoping that it will be an intimate place of pilgrimage for all of your followers to come and meditate upon your divine grace. It is our hope that this sacred place may also help unite the greater Vaishnava community. Srila Prabhupada, in the past year, ISKCON Kolkata has inaugurated a memorial and pilgrimage site at the exact place you took birth in 1896 under the historic jackfruit tree. We will be striving in the days to come to develop this memorial in a way that devotees and sincere people of all backgrounds throughout the world will come to celebrate your glorious appearance and your pastimes of pure devotion and compassion. In this way, Kolkata will truly become a gateway to Mayapur and to the temple of Vedic Planetarium, according to your desire. I pray for this sincerity to wholeheartedly beg for your mercy and to assist you in your glorious service to the parampara of Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga, your servant Radhanath Swami. Srila Prabhupada ki.
Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki, Srila Prabhupada Vyasa Puja ki. Nitai Gaura Parimanande Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. So this is the mood of Vyasa Puja. It's a blissful, blessed occasion, joyous occasion, the appearance day of the spiritual master or the founder Acharya, in this case, of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. And as we always like to say very simply, why we need to adore, why we need to glorify, why we need to celebrate Srila Prabhupada, not only on Vyasa Puja Day, but every day in our lives, is because Srila Prabhupada delivered Krishna to us in the form of this Krishna consciousness movement. So it's important, or it's essential for all of us to take opportunities as much as we can, or fully, we take these opportunities fully to immerse ourselves at the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada, praying for his benediction, praying for his blessings, praying for his mercies, to engage us through his followers, through his books, through all his lectures, videos and writings that he would have done, that somewhere along the line we can really and truly becomes inspired in devotional service to the level that no one doesn't have to always come and push us. That if we take shelter of Prabhupada books very closely, no one really have to come and push us every day and inspire us every day that Prabhu, please rise, please attend Mangalarti, please conduct a Tulsi Arti, please do, Guru Puja in your home or attend Guru Puja once a day in the temple. No. If we are inspired, then we will do. If we are not inspired, then we'll back out. We'll hide. We'll make excuses. We'll take care of our bodies. The process say we are not this body, but we will be attached to our bodies. And so many things like, we normally do. But this auspicious occasion of the Vyasa Puja celebration, and as we just get a little insight from His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, that this year is special, that ISKCON is celebrating the 100th meeting anniversary of Srila Prabhupada and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta. So if you want to see how it is connected, if you want to actually make the connection to us and Srila Prabhupada and the whole process, that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came and predict, Piti Vitri Nagaradigram Sarvasya Prachayat Hoy Me Modanam. That every tongue and village, the holy name will be heard, sung, chanted, glorified. But then we see finally Srila Prabhupada came to the Western world, to every tongue and village all over the world, at least all major cities all over the world. Prabhupada went and inspired his followers where he couldn't have reached. He sent his followers to every tongue and village, every nook and corner all over the world. And in that way, in that mood, in that line, somewhere along the line, we were chosen to receive this mercy. Among countless unlimited living entities in the age of Kali Yuga, we have been chosen and given this opportunity. Just like it says that, "O my dear, you have obtained this rare human birth. Haven't you care for this gift? Now I brought the medicine to destroy the illusion of Maya. Pray for the Harinam Mahamantra and take it." There's in this bhajan, Jeev Jago, where it is described in the translations. We obtain a rare human birth. Haven't you care for this gift? What do we do with it? More than obtain a human birth, for us is that we have obtained Krishna consciousness. We have obtained, the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. What are we going to do with it? How are we going to utilize it? Are we going to lose it or not? the risk is there. We can lose it. If we are not careful, we can lose it. And let us remind ourselves that Mahaprabhu said, unfortunate are those who never comes. So one who never comes to devotional service is unfortunate. One who comes, are fortunate. Obviously, one who comes are fortunate. One who take full advantage of Mahaprabhu's and Srila Prabhupada givings, process that they are given, is most fortunate. But also there is most unfortunate one. It's a little awkward settings here today, you know? Everybody sit behind you and I have to look at the screen and I'm seeing, I don't know, a few kurtas. If you have to see the people, then you have to watch back. So you want to hear what is the most unfortunate one? Or who is the most unfortunate one? Yes or no? Do you want to hear? No, that is not sung like you want to hear. I'm asking if you want to hear who are the most unfortunate one. We said who is the one who never comes are unfortunate. The one who comes are fortunate. The one who comes and take full advantage of it, that they are most fortunate. So who are the most unfortunate ones? Anybody like to make a guess at least? One who comes and leave. One who comes to the process of devotional service to Srila Prabhupada and then leave. Most unfortunate. Like if you receive a good chunk of diamonds, good amount of diamonds, that can give you everything that you need to live and take care of your body for the rest of, 3-4 lifetimes. But you throw that away. Or you walk away and leave it. Who would want to be that carefree? Huh? Who would want to be that, I don't know how to describe that. You just leave it and you walk away, or you just throw it out. No good. Don't worry. It's no good. That will be most unfortunate for such person who carries such consciousness. So Srila Prabhupada mercy are there for all of us. Again, Vyasa Puja, just like Janamastami, Ram Navami, all these auspicious days give us special days, just like on our birthday we are more favorably inclined, we give more, we do a lot more, everything. So similarly on the birthday, the appearance day of the spiritual master, when the disciples celebrate in great pomp and great endeavor, with full consciousness, and we also receive much more blessings. Like really and truly only one day of the year we really adore and worship Srila Prabhupada. Every day else it becomes like a ritual. It is just a ritual. That we come and we do Guru Puja every morning. Done. One person are there, ding, 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 ring bell. Somebody maybe do, if you're fortunate, somebody do the Guru Puja, Artik Bhajan. And even Sunday program, hardly anybody are here. The Sunday program begins with Guru Puja. I think we should end with Guru Puja so that everyone can maybe get an opportunity to really and truly once a week offer, their gratitude to Srila Prabhupada, show their gratitude to Srila Prabhupada. Otherwise, you check all the videos, all the YouTube Guru Puja program on Sundays, you have 5-6 devotees. You have 5-6 devotees. No one is not inclined to come there earlier and really adore and worship the spiritual master. So really and truly, only one time a year on Prabhupada Vyasa Puja, that Prabhupada's Vyasa son will be dressed, will be decorated, and we'll make this huge boga offering to Srila Prabhupada. Otherwise, Srila Prabhupada sit there whole year, he never receive a offering really. You give him a glass of water, next to his knee there's a glass. Give him a glass of water every day, and that's all. And even worse yet, if we do not go out and distribute Srila Prabhupada's books, you can probably take enough time and pack the chairs one time, or Sanjay is distracting me. Why put out some chairs? When people come in and open chair and so what was the last thing we just said? So one way to worship or show our gratitude to Srila Prabhupada, I was going to say how, grateful or ungrateful it will be that we do not come and offer that Vyasa Puja, that Guru Puja offering, but what to speak of Srila Prabhupada dedicate his latter part of his life and his whole life meditation was that to produce, translate these books. So if we are not reading Srila Prabhupada books, if we are not distributing Prabhupada books, how do we call ourselves followers of Srila Prabhupada? How do we call ourselves, like for example, we would normally say, how do we call ourselves followers of Gauranga Mahaprabhu? That Lord Chaitanya's mission is congregational chanting, Harinam Sankirtan, in the streets, in the town, in the marketplace. So if we said that we are a member of the Krishna consciousness movement, that we are a follower of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and we never ever went out, or we don't go out on a regular basis and give the holy name, chant the holy name, fall in the line, carry out the instruction of Mahaprabhu, and chant the holy name of the Lord in the streets and the towns and the villages, how can we call ourselves followers of Mahaprabhu or his Sankirtana movement? Sankirtana movement actually means congregational chanting outside there. This is congregational. So our humble encouragement as we are getting more and more relief from pandemic. We don't have to get complete relief from pandemic to go in the streets and the villages and the marketplace and give the holy name. So I will challenge you, if there is anyone, 3, 5, 7, 10, 50 persons, 100 persons, who wants to come together and organize some Harinam Sankirtan program, we'll be waiting. That's a service that is there. You don't have to be a manager, you don't have to be initiated, you don't have to be a fix-up devotee, you don't have to be vegetarian, or nothing like that to organize kirtan around your town, around your village, or at least in your street. Just organize it, invite the devotees. Say, Saturday morning, you call up some devotees, we'll reach at Mandripo's market, or we'll reach at Border Market, or we'll reach in Georgetown, or we'll reach in this street, the other street. And in the meantime, tell them to bring some books and some sweets so that we can give the people. And in this way we can think of pleasing Srila Prabhupada. How do we please Srila Prabhupada? Like all the scriptures are saying, pleasing the Vaishnavas. Who think about pleasing Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis these days? Hardly. Nobody doesn't think that advancement in spirituality, in Krishna consciousness, depends on how much you please the devotees. Oh, same thing. How do we please Srila Prabhupada? How do we make Srila Prabhupada smile with us? So again, this year we're celebrating something to really reflect deeply on. If Srila Bhaktisiddhanta didn't give, if Prabhupada didn't went there and had that meeting with Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, and that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta didn't give that instructions, intelligent young man go to the English-speaking world and preach, deliver the message of Sriman Gauranga Mahaprabhu. If it wasn't that instruction, that most fateful day, if it wasn't for that instruction gave birth to the Krishna consciousness movement all over the world. That is where it began, 100 years ago. This year I think we'll be celebrating maybe 56, 57 years we are celebrating of ISKCON Incorporated. But the instruction took place 40-something years before. It was already born. Like the time that the child comes, like the time that we comes out from our mother womb is one thing, but we were already conceived way before. Srila Prabhupada ki, Srila Prabhupada Vyasa Puja ki. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So we'll be reading one more offering from the Vyasa Puja book. This is an offering by His Holiness Karamakanan Swami Maharaj. The offering goes as follows. Dear Srila Prabhupada, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to your divine grace. Some devotees saw that when you were present, the spiritual world was also present. You have made us all aware of Krishna's presence. You give reality as it is. We had no idea we were living in a world of dreams and desires in relation to the material world. Gradually, you changed our desires, and now we want to serve Krishna. We want to go back to Godhead. Now we love Vrindavan. We trust in the Bhagavad Gita, the Srimad Bhagavatam, the Chaitanya Charitamrita. We learn that every one of our actions must be based on Scripture. We learned about selflessness. We learned about giving, about a life dedicated to distributing transcendental mercy freely to everyone. We learned that an attitude of humility and giving all respects to others attracts Krishna. Then one can chant Krishna's name incessantly. Sanatan Goswami received all the instructions of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who asked him to write a book about Vaishnava behavior. And then Sanatan prayed that the Lord would manifest in his heart so that he would be able to fulfill the Lord's desire. I am one who hears it all, but still falls short. However, my good fortune is that I have been allowed to do some service. I cannot count all the blessings you have brought into my life. Now I am praying that all your teachings may manifest in my heart, and that I may render some useful service for the remainder of my life. Your servant, Kadamba Kanana Swami. Srila Prabhupada ki. Could probably do the next bhajan.
So last year, while we were as part of our 125th anniversary offering to Srila Prabhupada, I'm sure many of us sort of remember the local Vyasa Puja book that would have compiled, that we would have put together. Yes, Sanjay. So you'll give out these books. I don't know how many persons will reach, or how many persons will have the opportunity now. We're only lending you these books now, of course, so that whoever wish, you can come forward and read any one of those offerings by any one of the devotees that would have made offerings to Srila Prabhupada last year, Vyasa Puja. There were many offerings that we didn't get to read together, so I think we can read some of them today. You can come in front of Srila Prabhupada and read those offerings. And tomorrow will be a extended Vyasa Puja celebration, where we will have a grand Abhishek ceremony for Srila Prabhupada, which we normally didn't do for many years. At least we probably never did here at Hare Krishna Study Center. So there will be an Abhishek tomorrow morning for Srila Prabhupada. And again, devotees will have an opportunity to continue to read some of these offerings that was made last year to Srila Prabhupada. So by the time you're selecting your offering, we would like to ask His Grace Paramatma Prabhu to share a few Vyasa Puja remarks with us. That was enough. You don't have to give everybody, only a couple body will get for you. Yeah, thank you.
Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharane Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Paschatya Desvatarane Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. So I'm very fortunate to be here with all of you this morning to celebrate the 126th Vyasa Puja day of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Prabhupada was born on the 1st of September of the year 1896. So it's 126 years after. I started writing Vyasa Puja offering way back in 1979, and I hardly failed one year to write, an offering for ISKCON Guyana, but this year I failed, largely because so many devotees passed away around, the early part of this year, and just being here and there, I was able not to make the deadline, which is April 1st. So the Vyasa Puja book is there, but there's no offering from Guyana for the first time over many years. But I just want to read something that I was just going to put together that didn't catch the book. In fact, quite a few devotees didn't catch the Vyasa Puja book this year. Prabhupada Swami told me he didn't make it. Jaipatak Swami also didn't make it this year. So I'm writing something of my own, but I was going to tailor this for the Vyasa Puja book. So I'm just reading some notes on what I was going to put in the book. Dear Srila Prabhupada, please accept my obeisances. All glories to your divine grace. Reflecting on your divine grace today, on your 126th Vyasa Puja day, you as a Mahabhagavat, we can see how you understood the heart of Lord Krishna and the previous acharyas. You were so expert in repackaging old wine in new bottle. You so expertly churned the ocean of these shastras, especially the Bhakti Shastras, and through the Bhakti Vedanta purports, you give the distilled essence of the Vedic wisdom, which if understood and followed, will lead the entangled jivas out of material existence. You have made practical and timely adjustments so that Krishna consciousness can easily be practiced in these modern times, in the middle of this Kali Yuga, where vices and sinful activities have become the order of the day. Whoever takes shelter of the safe and sturdy boat of your ISKCON, which you created, will be sure to cross over the ocean of nations. The ISKCON Charter, which delineates the purposes of the society, encompasses such lofty goals and shows what a visionary you are, Srila Prabhupada. Many years ago, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, the pioneer of the program to inundate the entire world with Krishna consciousness, he gave a number of important instructions to his son, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, one of which was to establish the order of Daivi Varnashram, which he was convinced would be the real service to the Vaishnavas. The other services was acquiring a printing press. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, he called the printing press the Brihat Mridanga. He was saying that the printing, you could play the Mridanga like Prabhupada was saying, do a little kirtan. You'll hear the next street corner, the next marketplace. But by playing the Brihat Mridanga of the printing press, by printing books, that will be distributed and heard all over the world. So acquiring the printing press, distributing devotional books, preaching and congregational chanting, all of which I heard Prabhupada Dev was discussing when I came in. In the very letter to his son, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur also spoke of the importance to introduce Gaurmandal Parikram, establishing an educational institute, various schools, gurukuls, etc. Srila Prabhupada, you so brilliantly captured and summarized the Thakur's vision by identifying four main angas, or movements, which, if undertaken systematically, would ensure effective spreading of Lord Chaitanya's mission. And these you listed as follows. 1, the Sankirtan movement, which means promoting the chanting of the holy names and the distribution of transcendental literature. 2, the deity worship movement, promoting the construction of temples and installation of Archa Vigraha, forms of the Lord. 3, the spiritual initiation movement, promoting congregational development such as Namhatas, Bhakti Vrikshas, youth preaching, etc. And lastly, the classless society movement promoting the Varnashram, Daivi Varnashram development based on land, cows, and Krishna. This was your vision when you established ISKCON in the early days, based on those 4 items. Srila Prabhupada, you have reasoned that if adopted in an organized and scientific way, these 4-fold, distinct yet connected activities will usher the re-spiritualization of human society, bringing tranquility of peace, respite of all harshness and bitterness, which have become the feature of the present world today. In your 7 purposes of ISKCON, you have interwoven the clear path of devotional service through these 4 movements, which are also directly linked to the 4 maxims. 1, books are the basis, purity is the force, preaching is the essence, and utility is the principle. The dedicated and sincere efforts of your followers, through the dedicated and sincere efforts of your followers, there have been tremendous success in the first 3 items worldwide. However, the 4th wave, based on Varnashram development, which is yet to be clearly defined and fully functional within ISKCON, is yet to be explored. While you were with us, Srila Prabhupada, knowing that your time was limited, you deftly established the first 3, and you attempted to set up farming communities based on simple living and high thinking, agriculture and cow protection, etc. These, you taught, would form the basis and evolve into the Varnashram movement. With the exponential pace with which ISKCON is increasing worldwide, with your Krishna consciousness movement positively affecting the lives of so many, we see the dire need for recommencing the Varnashram movement. During the 10 or so years after founding ISKCON, Srila Prabhupada, we saw that you spent many nights translating, writing purports to the Srimad Bhagavatam and other transcendental literatures to give to the future generations for the next 10,000 years. What you described as the law books of ISKCON, or the law books of spiritual life, which would benefit the whole of human society. Srila Prabhupada, you wanted that all members of the Krishna consciousness movement should read and study your books. You establish a degree program so that people would be encouraged to read your books and study them and take exams for courses like the Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhava, etc. Over recent years, we are starting to see the fruits of hundreds of devotees who are getting these Shastric degrees and are reading your books. Hopefully, in the future generations, your books will be studied by everybody, and they will not be just academics, but most importantly, they will become purified by the essence of your associations through reading your Bhaktivedanta purports. You have taken great pains, Srila Prabhupada, to establish this Krishna consciousness movement. We pray that the devotees will do everything to protect it and see that in different environments, in different parts of the world, the Krishna consciousness movement may continue to expand. On this auspicious day of your Vyasa Puja, the anniversary of your appearance in this world, we pray that you empower us with the intelligence and strength to play our small role to help you in your master plan to reverse the aimless materialistic course the world is hell-bent towards by systematic re-spiritualization process that you have offered through your ISKCON. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare ki jai, Hari Bol. Hari. It's pretty bad that we didn't get that in the International Vyasa Puja book. It's quite something. I don't know what you will do to make up, but I just opened this book like this. Prabhu, I just opened this book like this. What happened? You can bring it up close and let's see what name appeared there. So whoever name appeared here, we can ask them to read the Vyasa Puja offering on this side. No, on this side. On this side here. Mother Sitapati Mataji didn't appear here since this book was done, so we can ask her to please. Sitapati Mataji. Sitapati Mataji, you want to sit there and read or you want to come here and read? Better come here and read, right? You want to sit there and read or you want to come here and read? No, you have to come here, no? You have to get a mic. So, Mother Sitapati Mataji and family name appear in the Vyasa Puja book, so I'll ask her as one of the senior mothers here in ISKCON Guyana. And for us here, it will be more direct to say the mother of Madhavisham and double it here. The mother of Madhavisham and Mayapur Chandradoya Prabhus. Haribo. Okay.
Namo Vishnu Paraya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Navigandra Samati Rami Namaste Prabhupada Devi Nam Sankirtan Pacharya Nirvasesha Savari Samasi Namo Vishnu Paraya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swamiti Nami Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharya Nirvasesha Sanivari Paschatya Deshatari. Dearest Srila Prabhupada, please accept our humble obeisances. All glories to your divine grace. All glories to Shri Paramakarna, Nitai Gaurachandra. On this occasion of your 125th Vyasa Puja celebration,
This year is 126, right?
yeah, sorry. We wish to express our joy and gratitude in the form of this little offering, hoping that it will invite your loving grace, compassion, and mercy. Though we haven't met you personally, by your mercy, compassion, and preaching, you give us this gift of Krishna consciousness through your books and your staunch followers. We cannot begin to imagine what good fortune we must have that you brought us to this home known as ISKCON, which is like an oasis in this miserable desert-like material world. In this home, you have instituted a system where we can learn a lifestyle that would enable us to make little oases in our homes through our sadhana and spiritual practices, so that even when we weren't close enough to the temples, we can quench our thirst simply by the practice you have established for us to follow. We are forever thankful to you that even as far as in the land of Guyana, your mercy extended the form of 5 temples, which were only possible due to your vast preaching activities and your books, which are still creating devotees like wildfire. We can only imagine how proud and happy Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur must be when he looked at this beautiful oasis named ISKCON, which you have created. Our family seems to be following and serving in the mood of the spiritual master described in the third verse of Samsara Davana prayers. Sri Vigrahara, Nana Nichanana, Sringar Tanvan, Mandira Majanadu, Yuktasa Bhaktam, Charani Atupi, Vande Guru Sri Charana Vrna. The spiritual master is always engaged in the temple worship of Sri Sri Radha and Krishna. He also engaged his disciples in such worship. They dress the deities in beautiful clothes and ornaments, clean their temples, and perform other similar worship of the Lord. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of such a spiritual master. By the devotees' mercy and Krishna mercy, our home has been blessed with numerous beautiful deities, which we are trying to worship in the best possible way we can. We are also trying to render service in your beautiful temples here in Guyana in our service capacities. We hope that these small services in our home and in the temples are pleasing to your divine grace. We are forever in your debt for bringing this gift of Krishna consciousness to the West in your old age, where you suffer so many harsh experiences for our sake. We pray that we are continuously inspired and motivated by your determination and courage to spread Krishna consciousness in the best as event by your pastimes. We definitely do appreciate ISKCON, this home that you have created, and therefore we would like to make a humble commitment to cooperate to ensure that this movement flourishes in Guyana. We have definitely had our hardship and seemingly impassive experience with other devotees. But your love, mercy, and compassion remind us every day that this too shall pass, and one day we will be in your eternal service. Therefore, with the hope, we pray for your mercy that we may never leave the association of devotees, the Sankirtan movement, and your service. We pray that by your mercy and your instruction in the form of your books, we find all the relevant knowledge and realization to be able to serve respectfully and humble amongst the devotees in the various congregations that we serve. We pray for your mercy and service on this occasion, humbly aspiring to be your servant, Sitapati Devidasi, Gopikita Devidasi, Rama Madhava Shyam Das, Mayapur Chandradoya Das, and Tulsi Manjari Devidas.
Haribo, Srila Prabhupada ki, Srila Prabhupada Vyasa Puja ki. So we would have given a few books to a few individuals. We cannot take everybody today. Some people can prepare for tomorrow. So if there are some devotees, congregational members who would have wrote your offering in this Vyasa Puja book, and that you have the book in your hand right now, you didn't get an opportunity to read your offering last year, you can read it now. So, anyone? Anyone? I don't know. I have to turn.
Hare Krishna. Om Timindasya Gyana Jana Shilakaya Chakshu Unitanyana Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. I must thank you for this opportunity to sit here today to express the magnitude with which my entire life was changed. Even though I started long before this, there are so many things come up in my life that eventually I turned to him in sincerity. I want to say to you that Swami Prabhupada is among us. He is with the Lord Krishna, but he is here delivering messages to us because I've had this experience in my life. Glory to my dear Paramahamsa Guru, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Please accept my innermost obeisances. I will perform Dandavas pranams to you. I remember, this now is 22 years today, in Florida, United States of America, a medical doctor with profession, where I felt helpless, hopeless, and lifeless. I bowed to your lotus feet every day, begging for forgiveness and mercy for my sinful past. Then, as if you heard my pleas for mercy, you appeared in my dream, telling me to continue chanting the Maha Mantra, continue Mahaprasadam, Devotees Association, and listen to the preachings of senior devotees. By your mercy, I was able to take Harinam initiation and wear the Tulsi beads. By your spiritual grace, you guided me via your voice to read the first verse of the Nectar of Instructions on the qualities of a guru. As you mentioned, as you mentioned in your lecture on Srila Rupa Goswami, he says, a wise and self-composed person who can tolerate the urge to speak, the agitation of the mind, the onset of anger, the urges of the tongue, belly and genitals can instruct the entire world and make disciples. You are still that person, my grandfather Guru. You will always be so. I found your advice helpful when you said, a bad deed cannot be erased by doing a good deed after committing a sin. Your bad deed cannot be erased by doing a good deed after committing a sin. You educate me to avoid wrongdoings, Gurudev. You said that real atonement is only possible when I'm awakened to the dormant Krishna consciousness that is within me. We let it sleep. We don't wake it up, we let it sleep. It's dormant, we have to wake it up. In my mind, my body and my soul, you have woken that dormant Krishna consciousness. In this way, you said that we will not engage in sinful activities because I'm now awakened. Thank you, Gurudev. Real forgiveness involves carrying real knowledge that is given freely by a bona fide Guru. You have proven to me that you are a bona fide spiritual master. Since your appearance, you advise the entire world to continue devotee association so that actual knowledge can continue to spread to atone everyone. Thank you, Srila Prabhupada, for coming to the West, surviving 2 heart attacks, penniless, sacrificing your life to give to my sinful soul this awe-inspiring bliss. I promise to spread your glories and after the Maha Mantra to my family, fellow devotees, and all over the world. All glories to you, my Paramahansa Guru, Srila Prabhupada, your sincere servant, Bihari Las Dasa, that's me, my wife, Lisa, and the children. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Chants together, Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Dr. Bihari. We had to wait. Why we had to wait, a whole year to hear that? I don't know. Of course, he is busy administering medicines and tablets. He normally tell me that, Prabhu, if I am not at the hospital, then what will happen to all these patients? So I tell him, give, with every tablets that he give, you have to give one Mahamantra. So we hope that you're doing that. Even if you cannot chant the Mahamantra aloud, you chant it in your mind while you're giving them, so that they can get the benefit. Giri Krishna Prabhu, you're hiding? I didn't think you were here last year, so you want to take the opportunity? to read your offering from last year. Thank you very much. And if you want to say a few words, no problem.
Hare Krishna. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vishtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasatyadesha Tarine Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. So before I start to read, we can all raise our hand and we can chant one Mahamantra together. Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Before I just read whatever little I wrote here, I just want to say that Srila Prabhupada literally gave us everything that we require from birth to death. And today I will also like to acknowledge that many devotees have worked really hard over the last few years, here at ISKCON of Guyana, Nimai Pandit Study Center, and then Hare Krishna Study Center. So we have many devotees who are really dedicated and committed in all the different aspects that Srila Prabhupada would have advocated and given to us. So I just want to take this opportunity, especially on a day like today, to recognize, remember, and appreciate everyone's hard work. So this is the offering. If you have your book, it's page 26. So Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasatya Desha Tarine. Hare Krishna Srila Prabhupada. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Guru Parampara. Dear beloved Srila Prabhupada, so it's in the form of a poem. It is that most glorious day once again, the day when Krishna sent you with an aim to assist him as his Senapati Bhakta in bringing us lost souls back to Krishna and Radha. Lord Krishna chose your divine grace because he knew only you would help us win the race against Maya and our material desires, by giving us your cooling grace amidst the blazing material fire. Srila Prabhupada, ever so often I thought I knew it all. However, this was my dangerous ego's call. You took me under your loving shelter, neglecting my glaring faults, just like a dear father. Among all that you gave me to cherish, to ensure that I don't slip and perish, you sent to Guyana Srila Veerabahudas, your ever-loving son, whose shelter, love, guidance, sincerity, and compassion is second to none. In this way, you lovingly give me and millions of others Krishna's sweet holy names, taking which our lives never remain the same. You remain by our side, carefully taking our hand, ensuring that every step to Krishna is a firm and assuring stand. You pick us up whenever we fall, always reminding us of Lord Gauranga's call. Wake up, sleeping souls, wake up. Life is short. It's time to giddy up. 16 rounds each and every day will guarantee that Maya stays away. And when the final moment has beckoned, for sure we can reckon that by your grace, Krishna's name, we will remember as you taught us the ultimate surrender. Most auspicious and special is this day as our beloved Srila Prabhupada 156th appearance day. Surya rose today only because of your grace. He just wanted to reveal to the world your handsome, caring face. What else can we ask of Krishna, the sweetest of the sweet, than to remain ever dedicated to your lotus feet? Dearest Srila Prabhupada, I'm super blessed to be born in an era that is that is graced and blessed by your glorious appearance, that is graced and blessed by your tireless sacrifice, graced and blessed by your auspicious presence, graced and blessed by your handsomely satisfying smile, graced and blessed by your cooling compassion, graced and blessed by your eternal books, graced and blessed by your ISKCON, the home in which we can all happily live, graced and blessed by your deep and sweet voice, graced and blessed by your loving glance, and above all, graced and blessed by Krishna Prasad. Even if you didn't know who wrote this last line sort of give it away. Thank you, Srila Prabhupada, for giving life to our lifeless life. Mark Twain said, the two most important days in your life are the day you're born and the day you find out why. Well, Mark Twain is a famous philosopher. Srila Prabhupada, if Mark Twain is correct, I would like to humbly offer on this auspicious day of your appearance that the two most important people in our life are our mother, because of whom we were born, and you, beloved Srila Prabhupada, because of whom we found out why we were born. Please accept this humble offering on this super auspicious day of your Vyasa Puja. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, your aspiring servant and disciple of His Grace, Srila Veerabahu Das, Guru Krishna Gopal Das. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Hare Krishna, thank you very much, Guru Krishna Prabhu. And I don't know, even though we would have read it, those offerings over and over, proofreading and go through the different devotees' offering, but just to hear it together here this morning, it's something else. Maybe we can take one more. There's any devotee, any congregational member who names who's offering in this Vyasa Puja book that you didn't get to read it last year. Here's your opportunity. Anyone else? You didn't get to read your offering? Anybody who have the book and you want to read someone else offering on their behalf, you can volunteer now to do that. Okay, thank you very much. So it means we're not getting any volunteer at this point, so thank you very much. Maybe prepare yourself, organize, and come tomorrow morning at 9:30. We will have Abhishek bathing ceremony of Srila Prabhupada, which will be a continued Vyasa Puja celebration, or extended from today. Those of us who were here earlier and heard the meaning of Vyasa Puja, who was the devotee that put together? Braj Bihari Prabhu from ISKCON Resolve. He mentioned something very interesting that would have came to our attention last year during our 4 days celebration of the 125th anniversary of Srila Prabhupada. Some devotees that was looking at our programs internationally, senior devotees would have commented that they thought it was the first time that Prabhupada was properly honored. Because day after Janmashtami, we would have done that before Janmashtami anyway, because they said that day after Janmashtami, it's always, whatever we have been experiencing. Janmashtami means midnight, fasting until midnight, and then, everybody is like really down and out on Vyasa Puja day. We cannot really properly honor Srila Prabhupada unless we have real inspiration and real energy to really come out. And even I myself, really dragging right now. I can confess to you, I'm not, my normal self right now. I can do well with some rest. So, so that's the effect of Janamasmi, whole day go through that. So yes, tomorrow we'll have another opportunity, tomorrow morning. So I beg of everyone to please come forward and encourage those who didn't get an opportunity last year to read their offerings. They come and read those offerings together. It will be great. And again, we'll make another offering to Srila Prabhupada. We'll be bathing Prabhupada. And everyone will get an opportunity also to pour some of those sacred substance, milk, ghee, honey, and all those coconut water, fruit juice, and everything, bathe Srila Prabhupada. Maybe for some of us it will be the first time bathing the Murti, the deity form of Srila Prabhupada. So that will be the highlight of tomorrow's program. So for this morning we will go for Pushpanjali and then the Maha Artik ceremony. Pushpanjali means everyone will get an opportunity to offer petals to Srila Prabhupada, of course. So please, Sanjay, get everyone, Radha Kishore and all the kitchen people, everyone should be here now. Bring everyone to make their offerings to Srila Prabhupada. So you can stand where you are right now. Until later, when you receive your petals, you probably will come up closer to offer your petals to Srila Prabhupada. Paramat Prabhu, would you like to do the Mangalarchana Guru Pranam? Paramat Prabhu, you want to do the prayers? In the middle, in the middle of the books.
Hare Krishna. So we are going to be doing these prayers, the Mangalacharan prayers. I'll be repeating a few words at a time. All of us, can repeat afterwards. All right. I don't know. So let's start. Everybody. Agyana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalang Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitamscha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Namine Shri Varshabhanavi Devi Dayitaya Kripabdaye Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Daine Prabhave Namaha Madhurya Jwala Premabdya Sri Rupanuga Bhaktida Sri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namastute Namaste Gauravani Sri Murtaye Dinatarine Rupanuga Virudapasidhanta Dvantaharine Namo Gaura Kishoraya Sakshat Vairagya Murtaye Vipralamba Rasambode Padambujayate Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Sachitananda Namine Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupanuga Varayate Gaura Virbhava Bhumestvam Nirdishta Sajana Priya Vaishnava Sarvabhuma Sri Jagannataya Te Namaha Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhuya Evacha Patitanam Pavenyebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Maha Vadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gaura Tvishe Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Jayatam Surato Pangur Mama Mandamatir Gati Mat Sarvasva Padambuja Radha Madan Mohano Divyan Vrindaranya Kalpadrumada Srimad Ratnagara Singhasanasto Srimad Radha Srila Govinda Deva Pristalabhi Sevyamano Smarami Sriman Rasarambi Vamsivata Tata Stitaha Karshan Venuswanir Gopir Gopinata Sri Estuna Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Pasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we are going to be chanting the pranam mantra for Srila Prabhupada, and when I say Pushpanjali, Esha Pushpanjali, then you will offer flower petals. And make sure that you keep enough petals for 3 times. So come forward.
As much as you can. Don't knock on the camera or anything.
So remember, keep for 3 times. At least have 3 petals in your hand. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesa Shunyavadi Paschatya Desatarine Esha Pushpanjali. His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. You offer your obeisances also. Once more. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desatarine Esha Pushpanjali. His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Prabhupada Vyasa Puja Mahotsava ki. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desatarine Esha Pushpanjali. His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Prabhupada 126 Vyasa Puja ki jai.
Something additional, as you would have heard a little, a one-line statement from Paramahansa Prabhu that there would be the departed Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis. So, we want everyone to focus on that. Hold this. That we are going to make an offering to Srila Prabhupada on behalf of all the departed, recent departed, and more distance departed Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis, and from our physical association here, especially in recent months, quite a few of our devotees would have gone. So we are going to make a Pushpanjali offering to Srila Prabhupada, because it is still within the 1 year period, to all those devotees. So while we are doing that, you can all do Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki, Srila Prabhupada Mahavyasa Puja ki. So now we will offer on behalf of all those wonderful devotees and friends, congregational members, well-wishers, everyone who would have contributed, but for some reason or other they cannot be here today. So we are also going to make an offering. So one loud Srila Prabhupada ki! Hare Bol! Hare Krishna. So now we'll offer the garlands.
Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada.
Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada,
Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada,
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada,
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki!
Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada,
Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada,
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada,
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada,
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada,
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada,
Jaya Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada,
Jaya Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada.
Jaya Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada.
Jaya Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada.
Samsaradava nalalidaloka Tranaya karunya gana gana tvam
Pranaya Karunya Gana Gana
Pratasya karyana guna Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda
Praptasya Kalyana Gunaravasya Vande Guru Shri
Mahaprabhu Kirtana Nrita Gita Varitramadhyam Manasurasena
Mahaprabhu Kirtana Nritya Gita
Varikramadyan Manasurasena
Romanchakampa Shrutaranga Vajo Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda
Romanchakampa Shutaranga Vajo Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda
Shri Vigrahara Dana Nityanana Shringaratan Mandira Marjanado
Shri Vigrahara
Nityanana Shringaratan Mandira Marjanado Yoktasya Bhaktam Shaniyunjatopi Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda
Yuktasya Vaktam Shaininjatopi Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda
Tatur Virashri Bhagavat Prasado Swadhana Triptam Hari Bhakta Sangam
Vidashri Bhagavat Prasada Rana Triptan Hari Bhakta Sangha
Tretaiva Tripim Bhajatva Sadaiva Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda
Kritvaiva Tripti Bhajata Sadaiva Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda
Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda
Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda
Shri Radhika Madhavayor Para Madhurya Leela Gunarupanana
Shri Radhika
Madhavayor Para
Madhurya Leela Gunarupanana
Pratikshanasva Dhanalolupasya Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda
Ishanasva Dhanalolopasya Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda
Nikunjayono ratikele sedhe Yayale bher yukera pekshaniya
Nikunjayono ratikele sedya Yayale bheryo kirapikshaniya
Tatrati dhakshar ativalabhasya Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda
Tatrati Daksharati Valavasya Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda
Sakshadharidve na samasta shastre Uktastatabha yata eva sadhe
Sakshadaredvina samasta sashe Uktastatava yata eva sadhe
Kintu prabhurya priya eva tasya Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda
Kintu prabhuya priyeva tasya
Everyone, Vande Guru
Shri Charanaravinda
Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda Everyone
Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda
O Yasha Prasada Bhagavat Prasado Yasha Prasada Nagati Kutopi
Yasya Prasada Bhagavat Prashara Yasya Prasada Nagati Kato
O Yasha Prasada Bhagavat Prasado Yasya Prasada Nagati Kutopi
Prasada Bhagavat Prashara Yasya Prasada Nagati Kato
Dhayan Suvantasya Yashasri Sanyam Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda Dhayan Suvantasya Yashasri Sanyam Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda Oh Dhayan Suvantasya Yashasri Sanyam Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda Dhayan Suvantasya Yashasri Sanyam Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda Oh Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda Vande Guru Shri
Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda
Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda
Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda
Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda
Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda
Oh Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda
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 Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada
Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada
Gurudev Gurudev
Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma
Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma
Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma
Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma
Bando Moe Savadana Mate
Bando Moe Savarana Mate
Bando Moe Savadana Mate Bando Moe Savadana Mate Jahara Prasade Bhai E Bhavaturiya Jai
Jahara Prasare Bhai Deva Vatoriya Jai
Krishna Prabhu Hoy Jaha Ade
Hoy Jai
Krishna Prabhu Hoy Jaha Ade
Krishna Prabhu Jai
Shri Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitite Korea Kya
Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Ekate Korea
Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitite Korea Kya
Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Ekate Korea
Ana Kori Ho Mane Asha
Arana Kore Ho Mane Asha
Arana Kori Ho Mane Asha
Arana Kore Ho Mane Asha
Shri Guru Charane Rati Ese Utama Gate
Shri Guru Charane Rate Aise Uttama Gate
Shri Guru Charane Rate Ese Utama Gati
Shri Guru Charane Rate Aise Uttama Gate
Te Prasade Pure Sarva
Sare Pure Sarva Asha
Te Prasade Pure Sarva Asha
Jai Prasare Pure Sarva Asha
Kudan dilo je janme janme Prabhu se Chakudan dilo je janme janme Prabhu se Divyagan hriday prokashito
Divyagan Prakashito
Divyagan hriday prokashito
Divyagan Prakashito
Prema bhakti jaha hoite avidya vinasha jate
Prema Bhakti Jaha Hote Avidya Vinasha Jate
Prema bhakti jaha hoite avidya vinasha jate
Prema Bhakti Jaha Hote Avidya Vinasha Jate
Mere gai jahara charito
Mere Gai Jahara Charito
Mere gai jahara charito
Mere Gai Jahara Charito
Te Guru Karuna Sindhu Adama Janara Bandhu
Guru Karuna Sindhu Adama Janara Bandhu
Te Guru Karuna Sindhu Adama Janara Bandhu
Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Adama Janara Bandhu
Lokanath Lokera Jivana
Lokanath Lokera Jivana
Srila Prabhupada Lokera Jivana
Prabhupada Lokera Jivana
Srila Prabhupada Lokera Jivana
Prabhupada Lokera Jivana
जीवाना
प्रभुपाद लोकेरा जीवाना
हा हा प्रभु कोरो दोया देहो मोरे पाद छाया
प्रभु कोरो दोया देव मोरे पाद छाया
हा हा प्रभु कोरो दोया देहो मोरे पाद छाया प्रभु कोरो दोया Eve jaz gosho trebuvana
Eve jasa gosho trebuvana
Eve jasa gosho trebuvana
Eve jasa gosho trebuvana
Srila Prabhupada patita pavana
Prabhupada patita pavana
Tui pade loila sharana
Tui pade loila sharana
Jaya Prabhupada 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 Srila Prabhupada
Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada
Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Prabhupada
Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasaya Putale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Dinamine
Jaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine
Saraswati Devi Koravani Pracharine Nivasheta Sunyavadi Pashatari Shatarine
Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatari Shatarine
Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya, Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya, Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Ora Bhakta Vrinda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya
Bhakta-vrinda.
Jaya Gaura Bhakta-vrinda.
Jaya Gaura Bhakta-vrinda.
Jaya Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol.
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol.
Jaya Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol.
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Jaya Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol.
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
in band.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare.
Bolo Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Oh, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hey! Vivo!
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
oh Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama, Shri Gopal ki,
Hare Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare, hey!
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Oh Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Hare Hare,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Rama Rama,
Rama Rama,
Hare Hare,
Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Hare Hare,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Rama Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Rama Ramo, Hare Hare.
Bol Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gora Hari.
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari
Nitai
Bol.
Gora Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gora Hari Bol.
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Jaya Paramakaruna Nitai Gora Chandra, Paramakaruna Nitai Gora Chandra.
Paramakaruna Nitai Gaura Chandra, Paramakaruna Nitai Gaura Chandra.
Jaya, Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna. So you wouldn't want to miss this opportunity. Some people on the ground, some people up in the air, wherever you are. Matajis, girls this side, boys this side. Whoever in it will take a group picture right now. In the meantime, you're getting ready with your group picture. You can have obeisances. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Padvakacharya. Astota Star Sri Srimad Svaingre Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Padvakacharya. You can take your picture in the meantime. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Padvakacharya. Astota Star Sri Srimad Svaingre Srila Bhaktivedanta Goswami Maharaj Ki. 100 years of Srila Bhaktivedanta Goswami Maharaj. Instruction to Srila Prabhupada Ki. Nitai Gaura Premnande. Srila Prabhupada Vyasa Puja Ki. All glories to some devotees. All glories to some devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Srila Prabhupada Ki. Jai. So come, you can move this. Make it snappy. All those who would like to get in a group picture, please be here now. Paramat Prabhu, you don't want to miss out. Some people stand, the tall people stand at the back. The tall people stand at the back. Matajis and girls, some people kneel, some people stand. You start to take pictures while they are coming. Take pictures, don't wait, take pictures. Everybody come in. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Tomorrow, beginning from just after Prasadam, you start make your pledges. Who will bring some ghee? Who will bring some honey? Who will bring some milk? You bring your own substance to bathe Prabhupada, but inform us what you're bringing. Giri Krishna Prabhu. Haribo! Srila Prabhupada Ki. Don't raise your hands, otherwise you're going to block the person behind you. Prasadam ke, Srila Prabhupada Mahaprasadam ke, Srila Prabhupada Vyasa Puja ke. Thank you all very much. You can take prasadam into your full satisfaction as much as you want. And as we announce, there's something special that will be announced tomorrow. I will only give you a little hint right now of what you're entitled of for the rest of this year until the deity anniversary, which will be the 25th of January 2023. So His Holiness Bhakti Marg Swami will be here next January for the deity installation anniversary, which means Mahendra and boys have to put on grand padayatra after many years. So what will happen from now to then, you make sure you be here tomorrow with your notebooks. You be here tomorrow with your notebooks. Okay? Thank you all very much. Srila Prabhupada ki. Srila Prabhupada Vyasa Puja ki. So in form of Vishaka, Shada Prem, Jayagora, all the Pujari teams, if you will bring some of the sacred substance, some water, some Ganga water, some milk, some honey, some ghee, pure ghee of course, 100% pure ghee, no vegetable ghee. If you will bring some fruit juice, you can make it with your own hands and bring it, but please inform us before. Hare Krishna. Hare Bol.
Hare
Srila
Krishna,
Prabhupada
Hare
ki.
Namaste Narasingaya Praladalada Daine
Ayin
Hiranyakashi Purvakshaha
Hiranyakashi Purvakaha
Hilatanga Nakalaye
Kalaye
Ito Nrsimha Parato Nrsimho
Narsingo Parato Narsingo
Yato Yato Yami Tato Nrsimha Pahe Nrsimha Hrida E Nrsimha Narsimha Madim Sharanam Prapadye Avakara Kamalavare Kalita Hiranyagashipu Narasimha Kesavalinga Narahari Avakara Kamalavare
Jaya Jagadish Hare
Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Nrsimha Dev Nrsimha Dev Nrsimha Dev Jai Nrsimha Dev Jai Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Jai Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada ke Srila Prabhupada Vyasa Puja ke Srila Prabhupada Mahavyasa Puja ke Nitai Gaur Siddhanatha Premanande Hari Mahaprasade Govinde Namo Brahmane Vaishnave Sava Punyam Vitam Rajam Vishwashone Vajayate Sharira Vidyaja Jurindriya Tahika Jive Pile Vishaya Sagare Tara Madhya Jivahate Lova Maisa Durmate Takate Takate Samsare Krishna Bora Doya Moy Karibol Jiva Jai Saprasada Nila Bai Se Anamrita Pao Radha Krishna Guna Gao Premida Kushi Chaitanya Nitai Jai Nimai Jai Nitai Mahaprasadam Ki Jaya Jaya Mahaprasad, Jaya Mahaprasad, Mahaprasad, Jaya Mahaprasad. Jaya Krishna Prasad, Jaya Krishna Prasad, Krishna Prasad, Jaya Krishna Prasad. Shri Shri Mahaprasadam ki Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Jai Shri Radhe. Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Sham.